Talk about a proud dad. It was almost painful at times. And at the start of Noel's TV career, we'd go around there and he would show us his most recent interview or a Crowd Goes Wild episode and completely glow with pride. He's pretty bloody good, he'd say to me. Me and Cam was for a total dick. And with that, I'd like to ask Miles to come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Jess. Suck it. I know that this isn't supposed to be a sad time, and it is for our family. But I'm not supposed to be a 21st speech. I'm not supposed to be a farewell speech as such. And it's definitely not supposed to be a roast because that's what's happening in a few hours' time. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have made the effort to come out today. This is exactly how Dad would have wanted it. He took me out in his Land Rover, one Storm, very, very, very similar to this one actually. Waves crashing over all the bays, and he absolutely loved the adventure of it all. I'm going to zig-zag around because you've all done such a wonderful job of speaking about different facets of his life. I remember going to Bowen House, and I remember the soft lino and the heavy doors, and I remember what I look back now as New Zealand's version of Anchorman. I mean, there was Brian Waddell with too much gold on, not enough buttons done up, and wearing too much Sex Panther. And while they might have been fighting at one end of the office, this grubby little boy was trying to steal his Playboy magazine. Those were great days, and I think those are the days that allowed me to do what I do now because they broke down a lot of barriers and it demystified everything for me as well. In terms of Taihoa, Jesse spoke about what that meant to us and how Dad treated my mates. Certainly was a great place to be. When we were at school, we'd come up there, and I've had calls from our mates Dave and messages from my friends overseas who'd always enjoy coming over and enjoy Dad's company. I know he had such a good time with the New Zealand School Trustees Association as well, and he really enjoyed that role. I mean, it really was tailor-made for him to sit there, I guess with a headset on, and just tell people what to do. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm surprised there wasn't a letter writing campaign to make him stop. I want to take just a little bit of time just to say thank you about what happened on Saturday. I just want to thank the emergency services. I want to thank Andrew, our neighbour. He had to pull Dad out in front of his kids. Which is so traumatic, because I know that Dad, he really enjoyed hanging out with those kids, looking through the window, not in a creepy way. Not in a way that was fucking dodgy. But he really enjoyed spending time with them. He'd be mortified that what happened on Saturday was in front of them. And I thank Kelly and Andrew and their kids for having to go through that. I thank you, Andrew, as well. I know that what happened was the beginning of the end. Dad's hands went off the steering wheel. Andrew pulled over, unbelievably so, pulled him out, tried his best, and the emergency services got there as quickly as possible. I also want to say thank you to Andrew for finally somebody taking that wheel out of his hands, because he was a shit driver. Christ. I just wanted to pull that well out of his hands so many times, He was so bad. It really was. It really was a bad time to be in the car with him. I want to say thank you to Dad, because Dad gave me everything. He gave me the room to grow. So did you, Mum. Gave me the confidence to do what I do and to be who I am, and to be the father I am as well, because I learned a lot. My son Cooper is here with my wife Emma, and if I can be a father like Dad was to me, I really hope that I can be an impression on Cooper as to the way that I can be, that Dad was an impression on me. All sorts of things. Memories come flashing back. We had a helicopter ride to Taiahoa because Dad's parents couldn't obviously make the journey. Mum stipulated that was the only way she was ever going to go to Taiahoa. I don't even think you got on the helicopter, did you? Oh, you got on the helicopter, of course you did. Things like that. Mum was telling me a story about when they met. They shared a flat in Dunedin. Under the premise before they got married, they had to list their addresses because, it was the 70s and things were done differently back then. And they were talking about their aspirations and how much they wanted to grow as a couple together and what they want when, they live together. And I guess Mum would be wonderful in the things that she would say about her and Ron spending the rest of their lives together. And he apparently just said he wanted a full liquor cabinet. A full liquor cabinet. Unbelievable. 1981, I was too young to remember that. I actually did a study on it at school. 1986. Was it Cavaliers tour? 85, 86? 86. Yeah. He was the forerunner of pirating and social media, because first of all, he and a colleague brought over a bootleg copy of the Cavaliers tour to watch from South Africa, and I was horrified because I was 10, 11, and I knew it was bad that the Cavaliers had gone to play South Africa. Sport and politics don't mix. And I remember putting out a chalkboard outside my room in protest that Dad was watching the Cavaliers because these were bad men who went to go and play rugby in South Africa, and when it was explicitly said so, you weren't supposed to, Dad, so that's bad. So I put a sign outside my room that said, "Apartheid sucks." And Dad came out and he knocked on my door and he looked at the sign, and I looked up at him and I went, "What?" And he goes, "You spelt it wrong." I spelled apartheid wrong. Shit, eh? Commiserations and condolences also to Thornton New World. Dad's happy place. They'll miss him shuffling around the aisles. He'd go there 3 times a day in retirement. Big Hurricanes fan, big Wellington Lions fan, very appropriate he went out going to a game like he did. Also, he also had made himself go to the Wellington Phoenix, and I wish that on no one to go and watch the Phoenix game. That's some dour shit, it really is. Barbara, I think he spent some time with you guys in 1986 after the Edinburgh Games, the Commonwealth Games. You went up and down. I'm going to end on a dad joke because I want him to smile like that. He and Barbara and her partner at the time, they spent a lot of time on these canal boats. Like months, weeks, months? Yeah, I know. It seemed like it. She's going this, no. Kate, he came home and told us so many boring canal jokes. So many boring canal stories. These were some of the most boring stories you've ever listened in your life to. And I now know I now know why the term is fucking hell. They're so far away, and it's so boring. I love you, Dad. Thank you so much. I'll always remember you like that on the day of my wedding. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Jessie, as well. You've been amazing. Cheers, everyone.